It is a Friday, hashtag finally Friday. Of course, glad to have you with us on Up to the Minute. Very special day for our graduates. Congratulations to everyone at Houston Community College who is graduating from HCC. Of course, we have our commencement ceremony. The main one is happening at 1 o'clock today. So join us at 1. We've got a bit of a countdown before it starts, but you'll get a chance to see the whole thing from start to finish. Make sure you join us. We'll have a link at the end of the show in the social media post for it. Frank Cooper is my co-host today. Frank, it's good to see you, and it's a big day for HCC.
Sure is, man. Good to see you too, boss, man. Again, shout out to all the graduates, man. I want to just say, thank you for your hard work, your dedication to your craft, and I wish y'all so much great luck in the future, man, and whatever y'all decide to do.
That's right, Frank. And of course, we want to remind everyone to follow us in social media.
Absolutely. So follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. We'll also have live whole episodes on YouTube as well. Just search HCC Up to the Minutes for all the livest interviews and HCC Universal, what's going on there.
All right, Frank, stick around. We'll check in with you later in the show. We got a lot of to discuss later on with some news and announcements, and of course, talking more about our graduation commencement ceremony coming up later on today. All right, 2 guests today. We've got Jade Go, and she's the first Asian model with Esprit Fashions, and an actress from the first Emperor, Jade Made Food. She also has that company. Jade, good morning. It's good to see you. We've got your mic still unmuted there, so if we can get you to unmute your mic.
Oh, there we go.
There you are. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. We're looking forward to talking with you on this Film Friday and hearing about your experiences. We'll check in with you in just a few moments. Okay. All right. First off the top, you've seen him on the show before, Dr. Michael Webster. He is our Associate Vice Chancellor for Workforce Instruction. And Mike, you always say it's great when you get here on our shows because you're always talking about something exciting. And we've had a program that's been going on that's very exciting right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Todd. And sure enough, this great opportunity for students, and I'm always excited to be on because you have these artists, and I figure if I'm running workforce and I'm just as exciting as the artist, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. And the thing about it is, if you haven't heard yet, we mention it just about every day on the show, but HCC has a program called Fast Track Training. And Mike, maybe you could tell us more about this program because it gets people into the workforce quickly and their tuition can be paid for.
That's right. People are still hurting. They're coming back to work or trying to get back to work because of the pandemic. So we've got some training that we pulled out of our large inventory that are 6 to 8 week training, short term. And yeah, there's plenty of money out there for them to get free tuition.
One of the programs that is in your wide array of programs, we'll give you the website to check it out. There's a bunch of programs, but one of them is cybersecurity. And that's really been in the news over the last week, especially with that pipeline on the East Coast, the Colonial Pipeline being hacked and causing a disruption all along the East Coast. Cybersecurity is hot. Those jobs are out there and we can get them trained and in the workforce quickly.
Yeah, sure enough. I mean, we can't keep the students almost in the seats long enough before they're getting a really good paying job right out the gate. So cybersecurity is one that's definitely important, and every company needs somebody to be a network administrator and protect the system.
You mentioned short-term programs, 6 weeks, 12 weeks. Is cybersecurity one of the longer-term programs? How long should you plan on, if you want to say enroll in the cybersecurity through Fast Track, how long should you plan to be in studying for that before you get out into the workforce?
Within about 16 weeks, you can get a really good job, but you can continue to get more education and get a better job. And that's kind of my mantra. Get trained, get a job, get more training, get a better job, and just keep it going. And cybersecurity is definitely one of those fields.
And fast track, not only fast track to get into the workforce, but like you mentioned, fast track, I guess, to get stackable credits or degrees or certifications that you could come back to HCC and build upon in the future. And this goes for cyber training and other programs.
Yeah, for sure. If you turn on the TV right now, any of your HVAC or AC companies, they'll have a now hiring at the top, as well as trying to advertise their own company. So we've got a program. It's fast track air conditioning. We actually offer it in both English and Spanish. And it's a one that they can get into and then continue on and become a technician later on.
Some people may have a question of, I'm in the workforce now. I've got, I am making money, but I want to make more money, or my job now just isn't that stable. Will I qualify for these programs? Are there qualifications? Can anyone sign up? And how does that work?
Yeah, so some of these do require it, and specifically the health sciences are going to have some requirements. But for the most part, most of these fast track programs, anybody can get into them without too much difficulty. And I also want to add that we have some resources available for things like childcare. So if you need a place, if you need to get your child in daycare while you're taking your classes, there's money available for that as well.
We talked about cybersecurity. You mentioned AC, heating and cooling, learning it all really to get out there and get to work. But what are some of the other trades they may look at? I know there's welding and logistics. What are some of the others they can peruse on this website?
Yeah, so plumbing's one, scaffolding is another great one, electrical, drywall, pipe fitting, sheet metal. And then we've got some medical billing and coding and as people are getting back to work, they're putting their students, as I said, or their kids in daycare. Childcare associates is one that we're also promoting.
If they go to one website, they can look at over all the programs. How does it work? What's the first step?
So if you go to hccs.edu/fast-track, you'll find all of these programs. There's a short form to fill out, and that's where you start. Somebody will be contacting you almost as soon as you fill it out.
When they contact you, do you then have to fill out FAFSA, get enrolled into HCC? Will you follow the normal steps as most students would as well?
For these programs, the enrollment form is quite short. Depending on the funding source for the free tuition, you might have to do a FAFSA, but outside of that, probably within 30 minutes, you'll be able to register.
Here's another question. Somebody may be coming up now, well, it's May. I may have missed out on the summer classes. Do I need to enroll with the fall, or do you have year-round enrollment with these programs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for these are continuing ed, and we pump them out almost constantly. Our truck driving starts every 2 weeks. Generally, if you find something you like, there's a class starting just around the corner.
You mentioned truck driving. That's another big one now, because the word is there could be somewhat of a gas shortage over the summer. And it may involve the fact that there's not enough people trained to drive trucks over and deliver the fuel to the gas stations. We could be hitting a crisis. Obviously, that's a hot profession. How fast can we get people trained to be truck drivers? And is the demand as great as you're hearing?
Yeah, in as short as about 6 weeks, you can get trained and ready to go for truck driving. And yeah, before those students even graduate from that program, they're already getting offers for jobs. I mean, that industry is hot.
And are these jobs that where they can stay local with companies, or can they be their own boss and lease out a truck and do things on their own? What do you find most of those students are doing?
Well, it depends. One of the things on truck driving is that a lot of these companies will provide sign-on bonuses. And when I say sign-on bonuses, I'm talking $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 just to get you into the seat. So depending on the company you're looking at, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Mike, one thing that was exciting that happened last week, and I know you were involved with this, but HCC has a partnership with Mattress Mac. Real briefly, maybe you can tell us about that, because it's kind of unique, our partnership with a furniture store, but he's actually teaching classes inside there. He's pretty excited about it, and they just had a graduating class.
We sure did, yeah. So Mac offered up 16,000 square feet of his North Freeway store to HCC to offer training. So we're doing welding, pipe fitting, residential construction, and electrical, which all of those are on our fast track list. So, but we're doing it right at Mac's store, and we just had our graduation. It's a great opportunity for that community right there. Very exciting.
And these are part of the program as well, where the tuition and the training is paid for?
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot out there for you, folks. If you're looking for a better job, looking for a new job, maybe you've been your hours have been cut because of COVID. One website for you to visit, it's hccs.edu/fast-track. Visit there today and get a load of all these programs. There's a lot of them. Mike Webster, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Okay, we're going to move on to Jade Go. She's a former model and actor of Chinese heritage. She's also the cousin of our own HCC's Anna Go. Anna's with the online continuing education program. Jade, good to have you with us on the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
I saw a word when I was going through my notes yesterday, and you were the first Asian model for Esprit. I remember that, that used to be a very popular brand. Of course, I know they're still around, but they were really popular, it seems like, back in the late 70s and 80s.
Yes, they were very open to having, all nationalities, represent them in their ads, which was very nice. Because when I started modeling back in the late 70s, it was very limited for Asians to be in catalogs. If we were booked for 1 hour, the All American look was booked for a whole day, basically. So they were very open to that, which was very nice.
You always hear of the glamorous life of high fashion models for magazines and all that. Is it all it's knocked out to be from those days, from what you can tell us? Is it as glamorous as people hear, or is it just a lot of hard work and hours on the set?
Well, definitely a lot of hard work. Always having to keep up the look. You have to eat well, do a lot of exercise. You have to go to sleep at the right time to, have nice skin and be alert during the day and perform. So you can't be partying all night and, and show up, but it's a fast-paced industry, and it was very enlightening and very, I guess you grow up very fast in the industry.
Right.
So,
did you get to do a lot of traveling with that?
Yes. I mean, I guess it depends on what venue you went into. If you went into the high fashion world, you would be in Europe a lot doing the shows. If you started doing more just catalogs, you would be pretty much sticking to New York or California, Florida. So, yeah, there was always traveling involved, but it just depended on what type of venue you went into. So,
Jade, I wanted to hear a bit about your story. You're a first-generation Chinese American. Maybe you can tell us about your story and your family coming here to the States.
Well, being first generation definitely is sort of like a transition between feeling, are you Chinese or you're American? You're in between. So my first language was Chinese, and quickly learned English, and then kind of abandoned the Chinese. Didn't want to go to Chinese school, but now I regret it. I wish I had, went to Chinese school and learned how to read and write the characters more. But, there's always time to learn. So beginning to pick it up again. But
is it hard picking it up again when you haven't spoken it for so long? How does that work?
It's funny because it was my first language, things come back to you like riding a bike.
Yeah.
You don't speak forever. And then when you start trying to communicate, like with my parents, my mother doesn't speak English. My father does. So it's always half Chinese, half English. But once I get into a role, it all comes flushing back, the Chinese language. So the more you speak it, the more it comes back. So it's very interesting how that works.
Ms. Go, I have a question.
Go right ahead, Frank. Jump on in.
Yeah. So I just want to know, so like for you, what was more challenging and more tough to get into and prepare for? Was it modeling? Was it acting for you?
Okay, so for modeling, my height was just the minimum. Okay, so I needed to be maybe a couple inches taller to really do the high fashion stuff. But then when I got into acting, I was just a little too tall because most actors are a little shorter. So it depended on the role that I played. Like I could have gotten some roles, but I was too tall for the actor. the matchup was important. So in modeling, it was a little easier because there was much more variety out there for you to work with. In acting, it's very specific. They're looking for a specific type, look, and then you have to actually look good next to your other, your opposite, the male. Like I did one time, One Life to Live. So they were considering me for a reoccurring role, but my love interest was not tall enough. So, as good as I could be, it really had to do with who I was playing against.
Yeah.
So that, I think acting is harder.
You were limited by the other actor, huh? It sounded
right.
like.
Exactly.
You were also in The Last Emperor. Tell us a bit about that experience. I mean, huge production.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I got casted here and in New York, and he casted around the world for all the parts in that movie. And I felt so lucky to have gotten the part I played. And being on that set was amazing because we were working with the highest caliber of art directors and costume designers and cinematographers. And we were in the Forbidden City for like 3 months. I was there for 3 months filming my parts and just roaming into these gardens that haven't been touched in hundreds of years. The Chinese government actually gave them permission, and walking around seeing ruins and just actually reenacting a Chinese opera on that stage in that particular garden was amazing because they did that at night and no one's in the Forbidden City at night. And you would look up in the sky and the full moon was out and you see the pagodas jetting out into the sky from the rooftops. It was very magical.
Incredible.
And of course, incredible experience. And, just being in China at that time, it was right before the Tiananmen Square massacre. Mm-hmm. So we worked a lot with the Chinese army because a lot of that was our extras. And, they didn't have digital enhancements at that time. Everything was done. When there's 3,000 people out there, it's 3,000 people. It's not like the digital enhancement. So the Chinese army was a lot of the extras, and then coming home and then finding out that they had this whole craziness at Tiananmen Square, I felt so bad. I felt so, I was hoping everybody was okay.
It must have been surreal seeing everything happen because no one can forget that sight of the man standing in front of the tank at Tiananmen Square. No, it just burned into your memory. So that must have been very surreal to realize that you were just there. Exactly.
Yeah. And I went to visit 2017 again. So it had been like almost 20 years since I'd been there last. And it was so different because I actually experienced the Forbidden City from behind the scenes. And now I was actually a tourist. So it was two very different perspectives of the city,
Wow. Jade, since you've moved on now, you've got your own business, you're an entrepreneur, and you have Jade Made Foods. Tell us about that.
So being that I was in the fashion industry, the movie industry, and I always loved to cook. And I come from a family of cooks. My father, his brother, and then my mother's side too, grandfather, all chefs. I became a chef myself. And it was always been my passion to cook for others. And so I decided to get into it after I had my second child. I was able to tap into the fashion industry to serve photo shoots for many different magazines like People Magazine or New York Times Magazine, and lots of the big companies like Ralph Lauren and Anthropologie, just to name some. But came across a lot of famous stars that I was able to meet, and very nice, down-to-earth people, like Jade Go and Julia Roberts. Just so many to name, really. Harrison Ford, and singers like Shakira and Alicia Keys.
So you had this contract with People magazine, and they brought you in as for catering when they would do the cover shoots. Is that how it was worked? So that's how you.
Yeah. Well, I was usually hired through production companies or photographer reps. So people who represented photographers had a production company, and they would book people like caterers or assistants for photographers. They would rent space. They would rent lighting equipment. So that was part of the production of it all. So I would be hired through production companies for these clients they had. And they usually were very good people. Like, Scavula was one of my photographers who really liked me to do Cosmopolitan covers every month. And, just through the years, I've done Talbots and all kinds of basically old-fashioned houses, Saks Fifth Avenue. Yeah. So it was quite an experience.
And you're also a Tai Chi instructor as well?
Well, cooking for like almost 30 years, it's been a fulfilling career, but very taxing on the body. So I decided to semi-retire now, and I met somebody special who is a Tai Chi master. And I've always wanted to learn Tai Chi, as I did try to in my teenage years. And now I teach Tai Chi, and I just love it. It's so good for your body, mind, and soul. Because in Tai Chi, as it started as a martial art, it slowly became an exercise. And also they found that it really helps massage internal organs too while you're doing Tai Chi. So, and it's very meditative. And so we find that most of our clients are actually in the rehabilitation mode because of knee injuries or operations. Tai Chi is a great exercise to keep you moving and working your muscles without hurting anything else more than, you have. So it's really good for also, a lot of people think it's only for old people, but if you do the martial arts aspect of Tai Chi, it's very, very vigorous. And, you need to be stretching a lot and doing your exercises and strengthening your muscles to be able to do the forms. So
Jade Go, we've been talking. She's a former model and actor, and the cousin of HCC's Anna Go. Tell Anna we said hi. I'm surprised she hadn't reached out to us in the last few months. She usually, reaches out to us, says, I need to get on the show to talk about something. So we haven't heard from her in a while. So tell her we said hello, and we look forward to seeing her soon.
I will.
Jade, thanks for being here, and stay safe. Thank you so much for talking to us about your career.
All right, no problem. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, we are going to move on to our HCC News and Announcements. Frank Cooper in the house. It's Frank on Fridays. So Frank, it's a big day for a lot of our students because they're going to be saying farewell to HCC as they are graduating today.
Absolutely. I mean, we said it yesterday, but it bears repeating. HCC Spring's commencement is upon us. Last night launched with the Texas Chase ceremony. Today continues with the virtual celebration, with the one going on as we speak. The Vast Academy is going on right now, online as well. The spring commencement, the big one will be at 1 p.m. today. So for more info and to watch, go to the HCC website, hccs.edu/graduation.
Now, when you tune into the graduation, want to let you know you'll get a chance to see the whole ceremony. We will have a 10-minute countdown letting you know exactly when the ceremony is going to start. Give you a chance to go step away, get a snack, call your friends, tell them to join you. But make sure you tune in today and wish our graduates the best. All right. And congratulations to all the graduates out there. Okay, let's move on to another big thing we've got going on this weekend, Frank. The art car experience. That's happening. And HCC has an art car involved as well.
They do. So the experience is directed by Professor Ashley Hope and designed and made by students. It will be showcased at the 2021 Art Car Experience at the Orange Show. The cooperative process has unfolded over 5 semesters across many HCC divisions. So that's Friday through Sunday, May 14th, the Orange Show headquarters. So for more info about that, look at our post after the show.
Yeah, we featured them on the show several times over the last couple of months. They have an ambulance they've been working on for literally 3 years. They were supposed to do it last year, but of course that was thrown out because of COVID. Now they're getting a chance to do it. Congratulations to them. And it's going to be incredible. We'll be doing stories on it. You'll see a lot of stuff in our social media. And I understand they're going to house it over at the Northwest College. More on that in the future. Okay, Student Film Showcase Spring 2021. That's happening tomorrow, Frank.
Absolutely. So film students will show their end of the semester compilation screenings and TV video field production, TV production workshops, video graphics and visual effects, cinematography, lighting, documentaries, and directing. So at 7 to 9 p.m. Saturday, May 15th. The viewer link will be provided when available and no registration is required. So for more info about that, go to michael.cohn, that's COHN, that's Nathan, at hccs.edu.
All right. So do you remember, Frank, I guess it was a couple of months ago, I don't know if you were doing that Tuesday or not, but we had the St. Arnold's Brewery on. Do you remember when their restaurant was on?
I do remember. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So they had one of our students working for them, and they're looking for culinary students to go work for them now. So if you're an HCC culinary student, this is a great opportunity. We had them on in March on here and Up to the Minute. They are looking to get someone to hire to work for them at the St. Arnold Brewery restaurant. Anyone interested will have an email address for Chef Ryan Savoy in the social media post for the show. I want to jump on down real quickly, Frank, to talk about enrollment, because real quickly, we've got 5 ways for you to learn: 2 online, 2 of them hybrid, a little bit of online and in person. And Frank, we're getting people back on campuses, in-person classes this summer and in the fall.
Absolutely. So it will be classes, it'll be smaller classes due to social distancing, but you can sign up for classes for the fall. As of right now, the sooner you do it, the better. It gives you more opportunities to get in the classes that you want. So for more information about that and to register, go to hccs.edu/now.
That's right. Okay. Real quickly, are you watching any sports this weekend? Anything on tap with you?
I am. So the NBA's regular season is wrapping up. So it's still a lot of jockeying for positions for the top 8 seeds. So this weekend, we'll find out, who's playing who. And I don't want to get my NBA predictions just yet. I want to wait till the standings get confirmed before I can see the matchups. But if healthy, I got a couple of teams in mind that may win the championship.
Okay. So next week, we're going to get your predictions for the NBA championship. So
let's do it.
Get them all together next week. We'll check in next Friday and get your predictions. Hey, folks, next week we're going to have some great guests. We'll continue our observance of Asian American Pacific Island Heritage Month. We'll touch base with HCC's Carolyn Tan, the newest Apple Fellow from the Digital and IT Center of Excellence. And we'll also have Mental Health Wellness Day on Monday, Frank.
Yeah, as May continues to be Mental Health Awareness Month, so we have invited our own Nicole Loving from HCC Central Counseling Department to tell us about her department and what they've been up to lately.
Yeah, so that's coming up on Monday. Of course, another full week of shows. You'll be back late next week, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Frank will be back on Friday of next week. We'll have a few other folks sprinkled in. You'll have to join us to see who it is. Monday, though, we'll be here live 10 a.m. for Up to the Minute. Have a great weekend.